Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It's good to have life. It's good to feel right, yeah. In a moment of time, as I shatter of trees, yeah, and feel lifted of life. The majesty of Haile Selassie is the first unto all I prescribe. For I honor indeed, for I honor in life.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to your Inner City Wake Up Call on a Saturday morning, February the 13th. That's midnight in the background. It is so good to have life. Good to have life. We're coming to you out of the Port City, Wilmington, North Carolina, 365 days a year. I'm your host, Dawud El-Amin. This is your Intercity Wake Up Call. Go to our Facebook page and for the announcements for this month, the businesses that we're highlighting and the events that we've got coming up during this Black History Month. Also, check out our post every morning on Facebook. There's a history lesson every morning. This morning, Shirley Chisholm. And you know what? I did the post this morning on Shirley Chisholm. You'd be surprised at people that don't know about Miss Chisholm. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, before there was either one of them, there was Shirley Chisholm. First woman to run as the Democratic nominee and the first black to run as a presidential candidate. So you got to really study her history. It's the good detail. We try to put a good detail, a bio on her this morning. And then take it and give it to your children, because it makes no sense. I always say this on this is why we do it. Can't stop, won't stop. The reason why we can't stop, won't stop is you pull out a $100 bill. Ask them who's on the $100 bill. They're gonna tell you Benjamin Franklin. Pull out a dollar bill. You ask them who picture that, they're gonna say George Washington. They know that. You put Shirley Chisholm picture in their face, they like, who that? I don't know her. Why? Because you didn't teach them. You didn't give them the history of who she is. So just like they should know, just like they know those people on that paper that they getting paid with, they should know our history as well. And that's why we do the face recognition test. Y'all failed that test Monday too. I meant to tell you. I didn't even grade the papers because didn't know about it. I gave you for 7 days straight. I gave you the answers to the test. Gave you a test on Monday, and everybody failed it. So get on top of this history. We got to know our history. You can't expect these young people to act any way than other than they're acting if you're not going to teach them who they really are, and you're going to just keep letting them think, Shaq, Kobe, Beyonce, them they idols. No, we had some big people that did big things way before that. And speaking of which, I put the other post out there about the Super Bowl the other day because, yes, I ain't going to get on the Beyonce controversy, but at the same time, all them ranting and raving about throwing up the Black Power fist, we forget about Thomas Smith and them when they threw up the Black Power fist at the Olympics and lost their medals and got ostracized when they came back home. So, you throw up a Black Power at a halftime show, that's fine. We're talking about brothers that stood on the doggone platform while the national anthem was played, threw fists up in the air with black gloves on and say you can have your medals back if you want them. Now, that's protesting. So I just wanted to throw that out there this morning because I'm going to leave that controversy alone about the Super Bowl. I got a brother over here, Vance Youth Outreach. I got to give him some big ups this morning. I'm trying to, give everybody props where it's needed. He's got a 13th dock. Go over to 13th dock. Y'all see what the brother's trying to do. The brother's trying to build a social resource center for youth. Brother, go help. If you can't do anything else, roll up a sleeve and ask what you can do. Brother's on his own. He's trying to do it. He's trying to build it. He's got a nice building over there. He's trying to put some resource in it. He's trying to write some grants. Just go by and stop. Go by and stop and talk to Brother Vance. You can find him on Facebook, Vance Williams. Talk to him and go by. I'm a big supporter of what he's trying to do because I told him, Lord knows I wasn't going to, I thought about the idea years ago of having a center for youth all day long. Lord knows I'm not going to be in there all day long. No, I can't do it. Not at 52. No, I can't do it no more. But he has the energy. He wants to be there with the youth, and he wants to give them some guidance. So yeah, that's where we at. 43 Days of Solace and Understanding from a Black Man's Perspective. That's the book. I'm your host, Dawood Elamine. That's the book, and this book is all month long online. We do it video, we do it blog talk radio, and we do it on Facebook. So by the end of the month, you're going to have the book. That's why we're recording it. And we record everything we say on YouTube, because I get in trouble all the time for stuff I say. So when people say, well, I said it the wrong way, or said it this or said that, then I can go back on my YouTube and say, nope, that's what I said. The days is day 12. And I'm going to read part of that and then leave the rest of you to read on Facebook. It's called, If I Am in Error, I Stand Corrected. One of my old daddy's statements, he used to always say it all the time. He said, if I stand in error, if I'm in error, I stand corrected. I didn't know what he meant then, but now I know. Says two people can look at the same accident and come away with two different versions. Yet it's still an accident. Oftentimes, we're so busy trying to be right in our version of life that we oftentimes miss the correct version. I have learned through this journey not only to be right, but to also be correct. You know, to be right is an adjective. It modifies you or describes your quality, while to be correct takes on a completely different action. Correct is a transitive verb, meaning it first must express a practical activity. Second, it must have someone, me, to receive the direct action. That direct action means change. So to be correct means taking action on me to cause a direct change in my behavior. The end result will be the elimination of accidents. Yes, there are always two versions to an accident, but a wise driver looks into his own mirror, which is the only error that he can correct. Although it might not be their fault, it's still an accident. My father always covered himself and said it this way: if I am in error, I stand corrected. Let us strive not only to be right, but let us strive to be correct as well. That's grade 12, and there's some more to that. You can read it on our page and no covers. The gist of it is, we striving to be correct. I posted something the other day that I said I'm done talking about, I'm done fighting over religion, because everybody has their version. And I'm not going to continue to argue over direction. If your way is right and my way is right, we had it the same way. It's really that simple. Been at this thing for years. And at the core of it, I'm always realizing that everybody, brother called me yesterday and I was explaining to him, we all waiting for the Messiah. And everybody claim that they have the Messiah. Well, the Messiah for me ain't necessarily going to be the Messiah for you. The Messiah for me might be a figure here, or the Messiah for me might be something my father used to teach, or the Messiah for me might be a collection of people. The Messiah for you might be somebody else. Whatever works for you, and what works for me. As long as we eliminating our bad behaviors and getting clean, what we arguing for? We got other stuff to do. With that, I saw a post the other night, and I'm going to say this because I am a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I don't usually go here on these subjects, but I have to. Out of all of the lectures that Minister Farrakhan has done, and I call myself a student because he raised me just like my father raised me. Minister Farrakhan, Imam Wallace D. Muhammad, my father, and many others. I have a picture on my page. All those men, Dr. Khaled, Conrad, all those men raised me. They made me who's listening to the Malcolm. They raised me. They made me who the man I was today. So I will not allow something to go by and not correct something someone posts on something of someone who raised me. And so I saw a post, and it's going around Facebook, and it says, my God, they curse in church, something to that effect. And the post has a very lengthy segment of the minister. It's a segment, though. It's not the whole lecture. It's a segment of the lecture. And during that particular segment, he is laying it on heavy with some what you would call foul words. I mean, really. He laid it on the sisters heavy And one of the sisters said she couldn't stomach it. And then he laid it on the brothers heavy. And he used some very strong language. And in all my years of following the minister, in all my years of studying under the minister, I once was a minister under Minister Farrakhan. He has used some heavy words, but he's also gave thousands of lectures. So someone to bring that out. That one particular meeting, which by the way, if they looked at the whole tape in context, they would have seen that it was a closed session meeting, because I remember that meeting in particular. And he was talking directly to his followers. He wasn't talking to the general public. He was talking to those who say they believe, and he was getting on our ass. Yeah. About what we say we do and don't do. And he was really being harsh to drive his point home. I say that to say, and I said ask for a reason, because I know I'm pissed a couple people off. Yeah, but I pay for this time. Yeah, I pay every month $50-something out my pocket, so I don't have to be censored by the radio. I don't have to be censored by the TV. I don't have to be censored by the newspaper. I can say what I want to say the way I want to say it because I pay for it out my pocket. We don't do commercial breaks. There's no covers. So I say that to say these same people will run home and watch Empire. The same people critical of a man who has saved lives, saved young men, who brought men out of jail, who's changed their behavior, made good men, good fathers, good mothers, who's cleaned people up from dope, who in the community talked to the gangbangers, who's not only called a million once, but called a million twice to DC and they came, will go home and watch Empire, will cut on the radio and hear every word there is right after church, but throw a comment on a Facebook page and say, my God, they curse in church. Well, you cursed in the car on the way to church and cursed in the car on the way from church. Ain't gonna curse tonight before you go to bed. Stop being so fickle. And I said I wasn't arguing about religion. I'm not arguing. Just pointing out something that needs to be pointed out. Sometimes you can be right, but not correct. Sometimes you can be right, but not correct. I'm trying to make sure we stay correct. We got to get better than that. We got too many things to do, too many problems going on in the community, too many things that we got to... And speaking of which, I did get on the election yesterday, and I meant it. We need to come together. And Sandra Lee, I need to throw this shout out to her. I haven't met her yet, but I will meet her soon. She's a follower of No Covers. And she's wise to follow No Covers. No Covers has got a base now. It didn't just start yesterday. This has been a process since 2002. We started this. Now we built the base. I've seen people, I've seen them come. I say, like I said today, I've seen them come and I've seen them go and I've seen them stay. I appreciate Frank for sending me that tape of TD Jakes. Those who left couldn't stay. And those who stayed couldn't leave. Everybody don't have to ride the same train to get to heaven. I just see you when we get there. So sometimes we have to use wisdom. So Miss Lee, appreciate your support. Appreciate your honesty. Appreciate your candor. Yeah, she's right. Because we have friendships in all walks of life. And money and good homes coming. Because we're going to keep running in a positive direction. This has been your brother, No Covers. I hope y'all have a good weekend. Get out. I would say get some sunshine. But it's cold out there today. So wrap up real tight. Be careful. Drive safe. I love you all. Peace and blessings. Keep running.